Welcome to this presentation on how to be a good buddy as part of the International Recruitment Buddying Fund. My name is Kieran Broadbent. I'm Chief Exec of the West Midlands Care Association, and we are administering this particular project on behalf of West Midlands ADAS. The International Recruitment Fund was £15 million from the Department of Health and Social Care, of which £1.6 million was allocated to the West Midlands region. It's been administered by West Midlands ADAS, and within the project there are 7 sub-projects. I'm going to talk today about the International Recruitment Hub, which is being delivered by West Midlands employers, the free DBS service, which we are offering as the Care Association, and the buddying scheme. The hub, which is being delivered by West Midlands employers, is a centralised portal with various elements of support on there. There's a free HR advice helpline, and I should emphasise that's just advice for international recruitment. Also a legal advice helpline, again just for international recruitment, where you can get up to 30 minutes of free legal advice. This is going to be available until at least the end of June 2024. The website and phone number are here on the slide. They're also running a series of webinars between now and the end of June on various aspects of international recruitment, on employing people, on sponsorship licenses, so well worth checking out. The free DBSs, which we're offering, are available to all care providers within the West Midlands region. You must use the West Midlands Care Association DBS system, which is free to use. And any recruiter who has entered within the last 6 months, that DBS will be free of charge. Again, available till the end of June or until the funding is used up. If you already use our DBS system, you don't have to do anything. We just automatically pick it up based on the address history. But if you're not, like I say, we do need you to use our system because we need some sort of audit trail. But it's very easy to register. It'll take you about 30 seconds. And as I said, there's no charge to register, and there'll be no charge for DBSs for any international recruits you've recruited in the last 6 months. Okay, and now on to the buddying scheme. Again, this project's being delivered by the Care Association, and it's available in the following local authorities within the region: Birmingham, Dudley, Herefordshire, Sandwell, Walsall, Wolverhampton and Worcestershire. Each individual local authority has been allocated a certain pot of money, so it's not one overall pot. Each local authority has its own funding stream. But the common elements are it's a cash grant of £1,200, again available until the end of June or until all the funding is allocated. The only other requirements are that you are a CQC registered employer. You have to have a current valid license from the department, from the Home Office for international recruitment, and you must have recruited within the last 12 months. So how do you be a good buddy? Buddying schemes are not new. They've been around for quite a while, not just for international recruitment. They can be used to actually support recruitment from employees who have lived in the UK since the day they were born. So it's just good practice about making new employees feel welcome within the organisation. And just the things to bear in mind when you're looking to set up a buddying scheme is obviously do your preparation, look at your induction processes, living in the UK, things we tend to take for granted, and the ongoing support. And so what we're going to do is just going to talk around each of those elements and just give some hints and tips to try and hopefully make your job a little bit easier. So your preparation. Well, first of all, begin contact before they even arrive in the UK. This ensures they already know someone when they actually arrive for work. Remember, it's a big step for these individuals, many who have never left their home country before, and so it's going to feel very, very different for them. So find out about their families, and although the rules have been tightened considerably about bringing independence, many will be looking to bring their families with them, and this can change the sort of support they need. For example, they might have to look at enrolling in schools. Arrange accommodation for them, even if it's temporary, or put them in touch with some letting agents. It may be worthwhile to ask other staff if they can recommend any agencies. If you can, meet them at the airport. As we said before, it's a very big leap into the unknown for them, and having their buddy there to meet them will really make them feel welcome. And the final thing we put on there, which I know is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's something that was said to us the other day, and I think actually it is quite relevant. Take them some scarves. It will feel really cold for them, even in our summer. If they've been used to living in an environment where the ambient temperature is often over 30 degrees, even 20 odd degrees from our summer is going to feel chilly for them. And so again, it's just little things like that just to make them feel welcome. Regarding your induction process, it shouldn't be any different to how you would induct a recruit from the UK, but again, there are a few extra pointers to consider. So we suggest you involve the buddy in the induction process. Maybe that the buddy is someone like the HR manager anyway, so it may already be a given. But if not, involving them in the process, again, it makes the new recruits more comfortable. We suggest you explain the CQC to them. Now, I'm sure you do that anyway, but we are very familiar with the CQC, and many of the staff you recruit locally are probably already from within the industry. So knowledge of the CQC is somewhat assumed. Treat the new staff as if they have never worked in care before, as the concept of a regulator may be new to them or very different to what they've experienced in their home country. So I think it's very useful to sort of explain who CQC are and how they impact on our day-to-day activities. Explain that we don't operate under a blame culture. Make it clear that it's okay to make a mistake as long as you acknowledge it. I think some international recruits might be worried if something goes wrong, they may end up being deported. So make it clear that that's not the way we work in the UK. And also, it's okay to report bad practice as well, even if it's your line manager or above. And now on to what's probably the most important part as regards to your new international recruits, and that's about living in the UK. So the sort of things that we take for granted, or we're very much used to, the strange idiosyncrasies of how things are done in this country. So we've put some suggestions here on the slide. These are also on our website as well. It's not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there's other things you can think of as well, but some things have been suggested to us which have been proven to work. So if you can, take them on a tour of the town or city. They are new to the area, so if you can take the time to sort of point out where everything is, that again will make them feel more at home. Mentioning accommodation before, property transactions differ from country to country, so put them in touch with local letting agents, ask existing staff if they can recommend anybody. Could be, if you're a carer, of course, that they're actually living on the premises at least for the initial couple of months. If they need to drive, probably quite relevant for home care agencies. Generally, the UK recognises foreign driving licenses if they're outside of the EU for 12 months. So after which time they will need to apply for a UK licence. If they're not driving, if they're using public transport, explain how the local bus and train networks work. Obviously, if you're in Birmingham, there's also the trams and the Black Country. So how you pay for them, how you get around, how things like having a monthly pass might be a better option. Religion might be important to them, so make a list of local churches, temples, mosques, etc., so they know where to go. And in the same sort of vein, it's worth trying to find if there's any community groups from their home country in the vicinity. If we look at the post office, again, postal services work differently around the world. Although many are based on the Royal Mail, it's worth finding out if they intend to post things home and help them when the need arises, maybe go to the post office with them for the first time. Very similar with banking. The UK has very strict laws on who can open a bank account and the identity items needed to complete this. Again, perhaps go with them to the bank when they need to open their first bank account. You've probably been through it before, so you can actually sit with them and explain to them, and also, of course, to the staff in the bank branch about what's going on and what they need to do. If they're bringing dependents with them, they might have to enroll with schools. And if you look at things like mobile phones and internet, although they're very ubiquitous around the world, our providers may not be that familiar to the recruit. With shopping, we'd suggest explaining who the main supermarkets are in the UK and how they have different offers. Obviously Tesco is very different to Aldi. So, explaining, what they are, what sort of costs they are. And it could be as well, within your area, you may have some ethnic supermarkets. So again, you can sort of signpost to. And as a final note here, their digital footprint. I think this is very important. So make sure they register for their national insurance number and NHS number as soon as possible. These will be needed for tax purposes, of course, and also when they come to register for a GP. As I said, the list is by no means exhaustive, and I'm sure there are things that we have missed there. Regarding ongoing support, we suggest, at least initially for the first couple of weeks, diarising a perhaps 10-minute coffee catch-up every week just to make sure they're settling in okay and to address any concerns or questions they have. Obviously, you'll have an appraisal process and also as part of your induction process, but just something more informal. Again, it'll just make them feel a little bit more at home. As regards to yourselves as buddies, you're not in a vacuum. Around a third of all providers within the region have a sponsorship license and are actively recruited from overseas. So do take advantage of networks such as the registered managers networks, details of which you can find on our website as well by clicking on what we do and then the networks link, and it's got links to the various local networks which we know of. Again, they're all like-minded people, and a lot of sharing of best practice goes on. And of course, you can also ask people questions, if you've got problems, because probably if you've got a problem, someone else has already had it before and has found a solution to it. Thank you for listening to this presentation. Please check out the support materials which are available on this webpage, and if you have any queries, please don't hesitate to contact the Care Association.